why can it be the women's final that goes on last? And I think it's simply just because this is the way that things have always been done and no one's ever thought to challenge it.
I think we all need to challenge unfair treatment wherever it happens. Squash is a sport for all, and the governing body clearly have a role to play in that and ensuring that it's fair to all. But it's not just down to the governing body. I think it's down to everybody involved in squash and the development of squash. So that could be right down to the coaches at the clubs and any players that are involved in the running of squash at clubs. We all need to have a responsibility to ensure that squash is fair to everybody. We've made a lot of progress in Scotland over the last few years in challenging gender equality, but and we have come a long way, but there's still a lot of work to be done. So I think we all need to keep pushing that and to keep challenging.
So I think for me this one may be slightly insignificant, but it's something that has always confused me a little bit. When it comes to events and finals, there always seems to be the women's final, then the men's final. And it's as if we're always finishing with the pinnacle of the event. The best squash on show is always the men's event or the men's final, and I've always sort of wondered why that was the case. Why can it be the women's final that goes on last? And I think it's simply just because this is the way that things have always been done and no one's ever thought to challenge it. So yeah, I'd question whether we could get a more even distribution of men's and women's and men's, or simply women's are the final event.
The theme for this year's International Women's Day is Choose to Challenge. Very interesting. What would I challenge? Off the top of my head, very quickly, if I had to give one answer, it would be probably coming from a senior executive level of management across all sports, would just be to explore how many staff are female. I think it's very important that at senior level, at management level, at chief executive level, there are female representative, and also on the board, at board level in all sports. I would be keen to challenge all sports in female roles at that level.
One of the things I think that can be challenged in squash, but just in sport in general, is how we keep young girls in sport. I think it's the same in most sports, not just in Scotland but around the world. There's a lot of girls that will stop playing kind of in their teenage years, and it's something that I'm really passionate about, is to try and keep them playing or involved in a sport in some capacity throughout their life.
So one thing I would challenge around International Women's Day, and if I could make a change moving forwards, would be to drive more women into leadership positions in squash, whether they're administrators, coaches, referees, or in development roles. We just need more women role models, because women, they just bring the sport to life. We've got such a vibrant female team, and we're making excellent progress in Scottish squash. We have Lisa as a pro player on the board, and we've just recruited a further female, and I'm on the board, so that makes 3. We're doing a great job there. There's a fantastic focus with our funders through Sport Scotland to really try to encourage more female participation. In terms of other commercial income, our sponsors are really keen with everything that we're doing for women in squash. So yeah, with the equal prize money, with the women rising up the rankings as we go, it feels very positive, but even more challenge needed. We need more women getting involved.
I think we continue to make great progress in Scotland in regards to challenging stereotypes and discrimination in sport. But I think for me as a female participant and also as someone who works to support females, the most important thing is about creating spaces where women feel safe and that they can be themselves in, where they can learn and they can make mistakes and they can have a chance to really develop a passion for a sport or a physical activity. And that is something that clubs across Scotland and across the squash community are battling with at the minute, and trying to make sure they have the things in place to support a diverse range of women and girls who all have the right to participate.